Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith for Smith in the Black in the VTF here at T3 Live with the market wrap up for the day and the week. So let's take a look. There's a lot of hemming and hawing about what a horrible week it was, but if the most part, if you take a look here, if we go to the weekly S&P Spider, you notice we actually closed higher than we opened. Granted, we came in, had a nice gapper down, but come back up. So you can see we still have the series of higher lows and higher highs. So the question here is this counter rally back in to some selling as we still have lower highs here, stuff like that. And if you look at the daily here, what's another thing that's important to notice is that even though we've had this slide off the highs, you'll notice recently, at least this week, that that basically it's being bought during the day. We had one big down day yesterday, and then everything else opens gaps down, but green on the day, green on the day, green on the day, green on the day. That makes it very difficult for anybody to stay short if they don't cover on the opening. If we take a look at the 60 here, you can see this downtrend here challenging that right on the close, and so we're going to be seeing how that acts next week. And obviously a lot of news coming out of Washington that's going to keep shaking them up. But as we've seen in the past, that any bad news in this market has still been treated good. If we had the fiscal cliff, we got sequestration, all that so far has still been acting all right. So when you look at the S&P, obviously that's the broader average. But if you continue to break it down, they're saying, oh, Dow Jones getting killed. And so if we take a look at the Dow Jones here, nice slide off of here, but you can see how orderly it is. You can see how it's going down, giving you clear signals there, and then you get the next day, opens near the lows and pops up, and then down, inside day drop, and now we're going to close as an inside day here. So yeah, bearing some of the brunt of the beating is the Dow Jones, but if you take a look at the monthly here, still, I mean, we basically are, right around where we opened for the month. Remember, we got hit on Monday, but since we opened on the new month on Tuesday, that that level is very valid because we want to see what direction we're traveling from the opening of the month. So if you look at that, Dow Jones down a little bit, but the S&P Spider is actually trading higher than it opened for the month as of right now. If we take a look at the QQQ. QQQ still hanging around the highs, and so if we take a look at here on the Qs, where people are saying, "Oh, this market looks horrible," I'm like, "Look, Qs are an inside day, which could easily go to new highs on a rally on Monday on any semblance of good news or lack of bad news that's not already out there." So for today, though, it was a little frustrating for some people that like to trade the high beta names or the flyers, whatever you will, as Apple doing nothing really, and maybe a little hammer in there, but for the most part during the day, and GOOG really doing nothing. If you're trying to follow that during the day, it was kind of ridiculous of doing nothing. So one of the things we do at my VTF with my traders is that we want to try and look for strength even though if the market is weakening, which as I was showing you here in the S&P, it's weakened in the morning and then firmed up, except for yesterday when we look for the short side. But once we start getting these green bars on the daily, we want to try and look for outperforming names. Oftentimes people get caught up in trying to buy the most oversold because it's going to bounce the biggest because they're all made out of rubber. And one of the mechanical problems with doing that is that when you try and buy something that's oversold, that there's a lot of people still trapped on the long side, or maybe. So anytime it pops up, oftentimes they're looking for an exit as well. So when you join the party, there's a whole lot of people looking for an exit. However, if the market starts to slide like this, you continually look for things that can push into new highs. The short side is going to be on the wrong side, and you can give them the business. So today, a lot of the trades in our VTF were around this XOP. The S&P Spider oil and gas. You can see this is an inside day rest and goes into new highs. We also look for the combination of an inside bar rest. So you have the inside day with the weekly confirmation. And so if you're short something like this and you're looking for a market slide, this we can trap them here. They're in a lot of trouble, and there's a lot of good names to go after. And if we look at PXD, more new highs. If you look at CRZO, both in that there. If you go to LPI, these are the kind of names we like to go after when the market's going down, because we know if the market recovers like it does today, that the short side is in a whole pack of trouble. As far as the short side is concerned today, there was XHB a little bit, but more of the components there, home builders, Toll Brothers, KBH, stuff like that, taking the brunt of the beating. Ryland was an inside day and down, meaning equilibrium here, couldn't go to a high new low, and then broke down. And then, of course, to finish off the week, who on earth would want to hold J.C. Penney? Obviously no one, as that thing continues its slide. And so far, this is a real nice continuation, broadening formation to bring her down into to new lows. So, for the most part, it was a matter of, this week was really a matter of where you were located and making sure that you're in the right spot at the right time. If you're getting chewed up in the averages and the futures, that you want to try and break it down sector by sector as best you can. Try and look for the strength, and then wait for the market to show its strength at selected times during the day and go after the strong. And when you see a red bar like this, we tend to go after the stuff that's weak, because at that point it's breaking into new lows, and then that can help the stops out there. So to start off next week, certainly we've got a lot of news, and we're going to watch this QQQ inside day to see if this can maintain to be the pillar of strength. All right, that's going to do it for this week. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I'm Rob Smith for Smith in the Black VTF here at T3Live.com.